What's up, people? What's up? I think we are live. I hit the right button. I believe we are ready to rock and roll. Um, but I think YouTube needs to add a crossfader so I can crossfade that so we can end that a little bit better. What's going on, people? Welcome to A2D Radio. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. Glad to be with you. Big shout out to all of the people, Tom, at A2D Radio for giving me this opportunity. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about your birds, and we're gonna see if we can make this happen. Um, Bear with me while we trying to figure this thing out. This is all a little bit new to me, but we're gonna make it happen, people. We are going to make it happen. So we got a little schedule tonight, and the first order of business, as you would expect, we are talking about your Philadelphia Eagles. And the NFL has kept it pleasantly full this week with controversy, news stories, all of this stuff that's going on. And I'll tell you what, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So every day is another story. Every day is another controversy, from the refs screwing up. Then we got Antonio Brown acting crazy, COVID issues all over the place. Man, it never stops. Never stops. In all the years I've been involved with football, playing football, watching football, like, this is something that has never ever happened. Ain't nobody ever seen this before. NFL is making it up as they go. A lot of people in America, businesses and stuff like that, they're making it up as they go because nobody's ever seen this before. This is brand new to everybody. So NFL struggled a little bit with the scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Everybody in Philadelphia was pissed off a couple weeks ago when they moved our schedule up because the Washington football team, they didn't have enough players to field the team with the COVID issues. So we were all mad about that. As a player, you play when you can play. But there is something to be said about being on a schedule. And pro athletes are creatures of habit. Depending on who you are, you have different degrees. But for the most part, we creatures of habit. Some people eat the same pregame meal every day, do the same routine. I think I heard Devontae Smith talk about before every game, he goes to McDonald's or something like that. But everybody's a creature of habit. So when you shift that schedule and move that schedule a little bit, you causing problems. So I know they smoothed it out, and obviously we won the game, but I believe it was Slay that was like, we can play whenever. Doesn't matter as long as we play. And that's true, because at the end of the day, they're going to get on the field and they're going to get down just like they normally do on Sunday. But I guarantee you they would have preferred to play on the regular day. So, but we took care of business. It is what it is. It's over with now. Can't do nothing about it. Got to stop crying. So, but it was interesting to see how the NFL would deal with this. And they got some things right. They got a lot of things wrong. Their policies, sometimes it seems like they stick to them when they want to stick to them. When it's not in the best interest of the dollar, they'll change things up. Case in point was the Washington game, because they came out all hard and heavy at the beginning of the year, and they were telling people like, hey, if you can't have enough players because of COVID, you're going to forfeit the game. And that was pretty much them trying to have a hard stand, in my opinion, so it looked good in the public eye. And I guess it worked. But when it came time to, are you really going to enforce that? That's when the NFLPA was like, no. If we forfeit a game, our players don't get paid and your players don't get paid. So the NFLPA was like, yeah, y'all need to hold that up. So it was interesting to see how they handle that. So they kind of backtracked a little bit, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. They didn't want to lose that money, and especially even if you were they were complaining on the Eagles side, but I guarantee you, uh, all of them boys for the Eagles didn't nobody want to lose that check. I guarantee you that. So they did what they had to do. We got the win. It's behind us, and we keep it moving. And and then last week we secure a playoff berth. So let me say that again. We secured a playoff berth, meaning we don't care what anybody else does. We are in the playoffs, and that is where you want to be. You want to be in a situation where you control your own destiny. That's one of the phrases that they use all the time. They use it in high school, they use it in college, they use it in the pros. We want to control our own destiny. We don't have to we want to be in a situation where we don't have to wait on to see if they win, if they lose. Well, we don't have to worry about mathematics whether or not we get in to the show or not. We're in the show. Doesn't matter what we do next week as far as the Cowboys go. And it's even funny saying that because I don't like the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I want to beat the Cowboys, but I would rather go into the playoffs with everybody healthy, no issues, no nicks, no bruises, no minor injuries, nothing like that. If we can go in there stout and ready to play that first week of the wild card, that bodes better for us. So there's something to be said for resting people. However, comma, when you do that, you tend to lose momentum. You tend to lose your flow a little bit. Again, going back to what I said about being creatures of habit, you do lose a little bit of that flow. It doesn't happen to everybody. Um, but there's been many cases in the past where you get a bye week, a first round bye, and you have to keep that momentum going. You hear a lot about how you practice during the week. Did you keep everything normal? Did you do more film study? Did you keep the players off their feet so they can recover their legs and things of that nature? So it all depends on what team you're on, what coach you got, and what you want to do. There's arguments on both sides. If you got a team that's got a bunch of nagging injuries, you're probably gonna rest some people. If you got a team where everybody is firing off, on all cylinders and everything, they'll probably keep playing. It all depends on what you want to do, you know. So I've been seeing a couple of things in the on social media about Sirianni probably resting some players. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen anything, but we'll keep checking on that. But at the end of the day, it's the Cowboys. We definitely want to beat the Cowboys because, man, we don't want to hear Dallas's mouth going into the playoffs. You know, I don't. So we'll see what's going to happen. I think they'll be ready to play. They'll be ready to do what they got to do. A lot of people still want to jump on the Gardner Minshew train and see him play. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play, I don't. If they're going to sit people, I don't understand why they would not sit Jalen. So that'll give Gardner Minshew fans a chance to see what's going on. So, the stash returns, as they say. But yeah, man, the big scheme of things is the Eagles are in the playoffs. And I would like all of the fans out there, all of the people out there, you go back to preseason, or you know what? Let's go back to anywhere before week 5. Anywhere before week 5. The reason why I say that is because it is my opinion that when you are trying to evaluate a team, trying to evaluate what you have, do we have players, not players? You're trying to figure out your personnel, right? You're not going to do that. You need at least 4 weeks. 4. You need at least 4 weeks to see what type of team you have. So I say after starting at week 5, going forward. But anything before that, you're trying to figure out what you have, who your best players are, who can do what they can do. Now, we started out in Atlanta and everybody looked good. And of course, uh, as we are prone to do in Philadelphia, we kind of got overexcited. But that's natural. And we're fans. It is what it is. And then quickly we came back down to earth. So, and everybody knows what the situation was. Sirianni just, for whatever reason, refused to run the ball. Sanders was sitting on the sideline, 5 carries in a game and just crazy stuff. I always say Jalen Hurts is phenomenal running the ball. He's not Michael Vick. He's not Lamar Jackson. But he can run the ball. He's a smart runner. He's a very smart runner. He's not like an RG3. RG3, in my opinion, was as good as Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick. The only problem was RG3 didn't know how to slide, and it cost him. Jalen knows how to get his butt on the ground so he don't take that big hit. Carson Wentz couldn't do that either. But we got there. I don't like my quarterback having more carries than the running backs. I'm biased. I'm a running back. I want to run the ball. You pay me to run the ball. We paying Miles Sanders and Boston Scott and Kenny Gainwell and Jordan Howard a whole lot of dollars to tote that rock. Let them run the ball. That's what you pay him to do. You can sneak the RPOs in there every now and then, but everybody saw it was getting ridiculous. It was costing us games. So you look at, I'll say this, if Sirianni would have if he'd have just started running the ball in week 3, I know he wanted to see if he could throw the ball with Jalen, and he kept going back to that well and it wasn't working. And I understand why he did that. I wish he would have started running the ball first, earlier. When I say run first, I mean establish the run first and let the run open up the pass. I wish he would have started doing that first. But he's got a passing mind, so I understand that. Because when you're a head coach, you know what got you to that position. And my guess is running the ball didn't get him to the opportunity where he's the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Cultivating quarterbacks, doing what he had to do in the passing game, studying under the coaches he studied under in Kansas City and then I believe in Indianapolis, that got him to where he is right now. So I understand that. Because if you go into something new, you go in with what you know best. And he knows passing best. So I understand that. Don't mean it wasn't frustrating. Does not mean that it was not frustrating. My family, my wife can tell you how many times I've been back here watching the games, screaming at the television to run the damn ball. Run the ball. Not RPO. Put Jalen under center. Put the tailback 7 yards back and run the ball downhill. It's a shame it took so long to get to that because I believe we could have had 3 more wins if we'd have ran the ball early in the game. Definitely could have had at least 3 more wins, in my opinion. But that's just me. So, who's saying what's up? What's up, Greg? But we got some things we can work out. But I tell you what, if you go back, like I was saying, before week 5, nobody in their right mind would have predicted the Eagles to be in this situation right here. Nobody. I don't care if you was the biggest Jalen Hurts fan or his biggest critic. I don't care if you were the biggest Nick Sirianni fan or his biggest critic. Nobody saw this coming. He wouldn't win, but not out of the realm of possibility that he should be in the talk for Coach of the Year. He earned it. He earned it. Let me see. Red Sand says, I'm just glad they recognized it and made the change. Didn't let the ego get in the way. I agree. I wish he would have came to that decision earlier, but like I said, when coaches get into that rhythm, you do what you know best. So I understand that. Definitely understand that. But I wish he would have figured that out a little bit more. That gets into a thing where I don't care what kind of coach you are. One of the most important things you can do as a coach is know your personnel. Every coach has to know their personnel, right? What does that mean? I know all the guys on my team. Well, what does that mean? It's more than just knowing names. Give you an example. When I was still coaching, I used to coach GT football. Shout out to any GT Stallions listening down here in South Jersey. I had one kid who was the biggest, strongest, probably fastest kid on the team. But he was a sweet kid. You know what I mean? He was I believe it was his first year playing football, first or second year playing football. And he was just a sweet kid. He had a really sweet demeanor. I can't tell that kid, I need you to go out there and tear that kid's head off. When you see the ball carrier, I need to get to the ball and tear his head off. I can't tell that to that kid because that's not his personality. You don't deal with people, you deal with personality. Write that down. I can't tell that kid's got a sweet demeanor. He's not going to do that. But then I got one of the smallest kids on the team, real skinny. He was my pit bull. One of the smallest kids on the team playing Mike linebacker. Stop playing. Mike linebacker. He had that attitude. He's the guy I could say, you go find the ball and knock his head off. Put your helmet in your chest, back when we could teach kids that and teach them to be aggressive playing football. That's a talk for another day. But I could tell him, get to the ball and make a play. He had that aggressive attitude. And I'm saying all that to say, in the beginning, in the first quarter of this year, first 5 or 6 games, I don't think Sirianni knew what he had yet. He wasn't sure. Yeah, you got Devontae Smith, but does he know what Devontae Smith can do? What week was it when we got rid of Goddard? I'm sorry, not Goddard, but Ertz. What week was that? So we couldn't really see Goddard until Ertz is out of the picture. Mind you, Ertz is in Arizona balling. So we didn't know what our personnel was. And that goes in tandem. Because the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, you got to know what your personnel is too. What do I mean by that? Devontae Smith, if he's an X receiver, depending on who's lining up in front of him, this is where film study and all that kind of stuff come into play, right? You, as a quarterback, you got to know how fast is Devontae Smith's first 5 steps? How fast is he off the line when they're playing off of him? How fast is he off the line when they're playing on you man-to-man? How fast is he off the line when somebody comes up and tries to jam him? Can he get off the jam? Does he have good hand work? What's his foot? Like all of that subliminal stuff, Jalen Hurts has to know on every receiver. He's got to know his personnel. He's got to know that he can throw Goddard the ball high because now we know he's going to go up and get it, and he's strong enough to take the ball away from a DB. Now we know what we got with a tight end. Now we know what we got with the Slim Reaper. But it takes a minute to get there. But we got there. but nobody thought we would. You go back and look at all the talking heads on TV, Cowherd and all of the football shows in the morning. I believe Cowherd put up a thing where the Eagles were supposed to be uh, 4-11, no, 4-13, 17-game season. Yeah, do your math. 4-13 or something like that. Nobody thought we were going to do anything, but we did. Changed some minds. But like all of the people, because you know how we do in Philly, we take one thing and we go way over there. Like we go way, way left. Yeah, Cowherd, he can be the worst sometimes. I used to listen to Cowherd way, way back in the day before he was on ESPN, and he was actually pretty good. But it is what it is. He gets on my nerves too. But Buckeye 998, you from Ohio, son? Or you just a Buckeye fan? But anyways, nobody knew we were going to do what we did. So all them people that was hating on Sirianni, that was hating on Jalen Hurts, you got to keep that same energy on the flip side. Because I'm not going to lie, I was one of those people. I had that arched eyebrow trying to figure out what Sirianni was doing sometimes. I'm still not a big fan of his goal line offense. Still not a fan of his goal line offense. Because sometimes I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are we on the half-yard line in shotgun when we got Jordan Howard running behind Jordan Mailata? Like, why are we in shotgun? Why are we in pistol or gun and running sideways on the 3-yard line going in? As a running back, that drives me nuts. Now, mind you, I'm old school because when I played running back, I was at Eastern Kentucky. We I formation. I'm 7 yards deep. I got a fullback. We are going there. That's the hole we're running in. Everybody and their mama know we coming right here. Stop me. Sometimes they did. Most times they didn't. Because I could tote that rock. Humble brag. Big Moose. I believe we have more than a puncher's chance to beat the Rams or LA team in the wild card. I agree with that. As long as we stick to what works for us. As long as we don't try to go tit for tat throwing a rock. Because we can't. One of the most important things you can do is know what you don't know. Know what you're not good at. If you know what you're not good at, you know what to work on. You know what to avoid, whatever the situation is. Every time we try to go pass for pass with another team, it doesn't end well for us. So let's not do that. Stick to what works. Run the ball. Run the passes off of the run. Run the ball. Get your passes off of the run. Put Jalen under center a lot more. I think he throws better from under center. So, Buckeye, we haven't beat anyone good this whole year. Listen, man, you play who on your schedule. We should have beat San Diego. All right. Did I say that right? Was that San Diego? Yeah, I think it was. I think we should have won that game. We definitely should have won the 49ers game. And we definitely should have won the Vegas game. So defense is not fraudulent because I was not a big Gannon fan in the beginning. I wouldn't call myself a Gannon fan now. I don't understand a lot of the talking about he's a head coaching candidate. I don't get that, but he's evolved as well. So you got to give him credit because we got one of the best defenses in the league. We can't control who we play. We play who we play, and you got to take care of business. when you play who you play. It's that simple. It's that simple. So I wish we could do, um, you know, Monday morning quarterback, hindsight, and all that other kind of good stuff. But hey, it is what it is. You can only play the people that they put on the field, people that the NFL schedule, and you just got to roll with it. Maybe I'm thinking about the Bucks. So, you know what? Yeah, it was the Chargers game. I believe that was when we couldn't stop. We the defense couldn't get off the field. The Chargers game, but I believe we should have. Jalen had a good game that game, I believe, but we had a chance to win. But the only point I was trying to make was if we would have been running the ball back then, we would have had a much better chance to win the game. So hindsight 2020 is what it is. We here now. So hopefully, you know, Coach Sirianni won't have a relapse and try to go back to passing the ball so much. Jalen is getting much better as a passer. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with him as a passer. I still say Jalen is at his best when he has 25 or less pass attempts. When we get up into 30 plus, we find trouble. Turning the ball over, things of that nature. So when you're 25 or less pass attempts, your offense has to be balanced. If you have 25 or less pass attempts and you don't have a balanced offense, that means your offense is not staying on the field or your defense can't get off the field. Either way, that's not a good look. Not a good look. Deli Sweat, yes, we should have beat the Bucks. Absolutely. Even though it was Tom Brady, we should have beat the Bucks. We had an opportunity. And again, if we would have ran the ball, whew, I think I need a graphic of like a dead horse or something because we beaten the damn thing to death. Big Moose, we got to get Quez involved more in the passing game. I agree, but in the right way. I would like to see Quez go across the middle a little bit because that really should be what Rager is doing. And don't everybody throw daggers at me because I mentioned Jalen Rager. But they gotta get him, Quez Watkins involved. They got to get Boston Scott involved a little bit more. I would love to see Boston Scott get more involved like they used to use Darren Sproles. He is not as fast or as elusive as Darren Sproles, but he's the best we got at that size. And I think we can use him. He's a strong runner. I look at Scott as somebody that can go between the tackles at his size. He goes between the tackles better than Kenny Gainwell, and arguably better than Miles Sanders. But Miles Sanders is a slasher, gets outside, and he takes off on you. So let him do what he does. So we got to use him the right way. I want to see Quez get more catches too. I want to see Quez. Goddard should be our number one target, not Devontae Smith. I believe Goddard because Smith has got the name recognition now. So when defenses are preparing for the Eagles, they're looking at film on Smith. They're looking at film on everybody, but they're concentrating on Smith because he's the big name rookie, right? So Goddard, he doesn't get forgotten, but he's not getting as much attention. And every time Goddard goes across the middle, that's a mismatch. His size gives a mismatch to everybody he comes up against. Hi, Mom. My mom said hi. Got to shout out moms. So Goddard should be the number one target because there's ways to get him involved in motion, different sets, where Goddard would be lined up on a defensive back. So that gives us the height advantage right off the bat. Advantage Eagles. That's the kind of stuff that we got to take advantage of. Sirianni, it does, to me, it seems like he hasn't opened that can yet. He's kind of hinting at it, but we got two good receivers. We got two really good receivers. I don't think we have much of a drop off from losing Ertz. Ertz to me was more of a big wide receiver than a tight end, but he played his position and he played his position well. Point period in the paragraph. I hated to see Zach Ertz go because Zach Ertz was a Philly dude. People like that resonate in this city. I played with RC. I played with Seth. I played with Byron Evans and Eric Allen and all those guys. That type of attitude resonates in this city. Didn't really talk much. Got out there, balled out, did his job, closed his lunch pail, and went back home. That's the kind of stuff that people in this city resonate with. So, but it wasn't a drop-off. When Goddard finally got the cue, when he got his nod, it's like, okay, we got rid of the competition. Not really competition, but that was a business deal and a favor. But when they made that move, Goddard stepped up. So we don't really have a drop-off. Diggs might be out too. Looking good. The biggest opponent to the whole NFL right now is Omicron. So everybody is looking like they might be out. It's crazy. We need a boundary X wide receiver, big tall. Big Moose, hold that thought, brother, because I got some questions about the draft. So, I haven't really dove into prospects and stuff like that, but it's I got some interesting thoughts on that because, in about 4 or 5 weeks, everybody's going to jump on the hype train of what happens in bowl games or what happened in bowl games and what they're going to look like in these workouts, these college workouts. So we got to beware of taking that type of bait. So don't be surprised if Ertz comes back as a team-friendly contract and retires as an Eagle. We have plenty of plays for a 2 tight end set. William Middlebrook, I agree wholeheartedly, but I don't think he's going to come back here and play. I think he might sign a one-day contract so he can officially retire as an Eagle. So if he does come back, they'll probably sign him to a minimum contract after whatever he does in Arizona. But he will find a way to come back and finish his career as an Eagle. That's a drop-dead guarantee. Jeffrey Lurie is not stupid. So that dude will be in the Ring of Fame, Eagles Hall of Fame, and arguably right now, he might be in the NFL Hall of Fame if he keeps doing what he's doing. So that boy got numbers, man, and he's legit. So I can't wait till he comes back because he deserves it. He's Philly. But I'm ready for these playoffs, man. Let's take care of Dallas first. How about if we just have a feel-good moment that we're playing Dallas? Most of Dallas players are going to be out from COVID, it looks like. But we'll see. And that would be very nice if we could end on a win, double-digit wins for the season for Jalen Hurts' first full year as a starter. So, and I'm curious as to people that are out there, how many people are still doubting if Jalen Hurts can be a franchise quarterback? Like, realistically, and that's a word that you guys are going to hear me use a lot because I believe a lot of fans, not just Philly, but fans across the country, a lot of fans have unrealistic expectations from what they should get from their players. So, realistically, if anybody out there is anti Jalen Hurts, and I got a couple friends, Big Moose, he's got to improve his accuracy. I 100% agree. Yes, he does. and he's getting better. He's getting better. Fun fact, and I looked this up when I was doing some homework today. Let me see. Who do we have? Who do we have? Let me see. Where my notes at? Josh Allen. That's what I was looking at. Josh Allen. His rookie year, his second year, Josh Allen had the worst completion percentage in the National Football League. Worst. The reason why I bring that up is because everybody got all of these criticisms of Jalen Hurts. Rightfully so, mind you. Rightfully so. He does need to improve on his accuracy. And he has. I still think he delivers the ball a tad bit slow, but both of those things are the same things every, not most, not some, every young quarterback goes through those same issues when they get to the league. Everybody. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, all of them. They balling out now, but they had their hiccups in the beginning. And for some reason, it seems like anything that Hurts needs to work on gets magnified. And it's like, well, I don't understand that. Like, I'm using a lot of my comparisons this year with people that were anti-Hurts. My argument was always, if you gave Trevor Lawrence Jalen Hurts stats, Trevor Lawrence would have been to the Pro Bowl. He would have been voted in the Pro Bowl. He wouldn't have been an alternate. Let me say it like that. If Trevor Lawrence had Jalen Hurts stats, he'd have been voted first team Pro Bowl. He would not have been an alternate. Because everybody got some preconceived notion on what a franchise quarterback looks like. So people still haven't understood that a franchise quarterback is a quarterback that wins. Point, period, end of paragraph. A franchise quarterback is somebody who wins. So I remember, go back and look at all the stuff they used to say about Russell Wilson. Not big enough and everything else. All he did was get in there and ball until Russell Wilson played so good you couldn't ignore him. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's on that level yet, but he's getting there. And just like every other quarterback, you got to give him time. You got to give him time to grow so he can get over all of these hurdles that every young quarterback goes through. And I don't understand why everybody immediately is like, has a bad game, he sucks. And like, people don't realize that he had a game with 3 turnovers. Didn't he throw against the Giants, the first game against the Giants? I believe he threw 2 picks and a fumble. And he's still at the lower half when it comes to interceptions. So everybody gonna have a bad game. The Washington Fence video. We're gonna talk about Railgate. Is that what we calling it now? What did I write down? Let me check my notes. Railgate, whatever you want to call it. Saw that video and I was like, I'm trying to figure out who was on the field that filmed that video with their phone because their social media account just blew up. But somebody posted a video from the opposite angle. Like the first video where you see the text that says, wait for it. That guy was behind him. Somebody else posted a video. They were either in or like I guess sitting right above the tunnel. So Jalen was coming towards them, and you really get a good look at when there was one big guy with he had on sweats, but he had on a Hurts jersey with the number 1. That dude was a big dude, and you see how close. I don't think people appreciate how close of a call that was. I don't think people appreciate that. 4 picks was it 4 picks versus the Giants, Vince? Wow. So he had 4 picks and he still, man. So that one bad game, and so let's say, so if he had 4 less picks, he would be at 5 interceptions. But how about the guy in the back with the fake helmet on? We laughing, but like that was a close call, man. That was a close call. Football is a game of inches. So if Jalen had been 2 steps faster, that was going to be disaster because that dude would have fell right on him. And just my estimation, he probably would have fell. Jalen would have saw it or heard it and tried to get out of the way. And he probably would have caught Jalen's leg, and it probably would have been a high ankle sprain. Because you got to remember the railing fell down and out. Then everybody else falls down and out. And the people that's falling on top of people, they're trying to get out of the way. So that somebody would have fell. It would have been a mess, man. It would have been a mess. So yes, he was smooth. Yes, he got out of the way. And don't sleep on pro players, skill set and getting out of the way and reflexes and stuff like that. Because it's that was crazy, man. I'd said it before, man. This is the league. This is the year that keeps on giving, man. There's been some stuff happening this year that I've never in my life seen, man. It's crazy. I was hoping I got a young kid I'm trying to get on for next week. He's a local kid. Kid I coached when he was younger for the Stallions. Kid named Devin Leary. I'm trying to get him on next week. But that kid, he's starting for NC State at QB, and their game got canceled, man. I ain't never seen somebody's game get canceled. Crazy stuff, man. All kind of crazy stuff. So, even so, took the team down the field. Yeah, he did. Rager did drop them 2 balls, though. Yeah. I'm still mad that we lost to the Giants. I ain't happy about that. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I want to see some I want to see some questions in the chat, man. Like I really want to know what for those, and this is specifically for people who are not Jalen Hurts fans, who think that Jalen Hurts is not the guy who need to draft somebody else, blah 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 blah. Right? What would he have to show you to convince you? I guess is the question. What would he have to show you that he hasn't already shown you? So if we get to let's say we win 2 games in the playoffs and we keep winning the same way, what changes? He's still the leader. He still led us to 2 wins. Everybody gets so caught up on. I know Trevor Lawrence can throw the ball a country mile. Saw when he was doing it at Clemson, but he's throwing a ton of picks down there in Jacksonville, with and without Urban Meyer. So, like, what would people that just don't like Hurts, like, what are you looking for? What exactly are you looking for? And that's one of those things, like when you talk to people, they give you the same criticisms, but it's like, okay, so he's getting better at it. So does he have to throw for, 80% completion rate? Does he have to have a bomb arm, throw for 70 yards on the dime and stuff like that? That would be great, but most quarterbacks don't do that. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, those guys are few and far between. If you look at all of the top quarterbacks, number 1 drafted quarterbacks, first round quarterbacks, Out of all of those people that were drafted, how many of them panned out? Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, and much love to Joe Burrow because I'm a Cincinnati kid, born and raised. So when somebody bringing my Bengals up, I appreciate that. But those guys are few and far between, including, and props to Howie. I know we don't want to mention his name, so leave the pitchforks in the closet. But Howie Roseman, he got Carson Wentz right. Carson Wentz was that dude. He was big. He could run. He could throw. And it just, the relationship went sour. But he was that dude. Because people always want to say that Carson sucked. He was bad at the end. But at some point in time, Carson Wentz was off the chain. So you got to ask yourself, well, what happened? He didn't just all of a sudden decide to suck. Don't work that way. So, bunch of crazy stuff, man. And if we hate on Carson Wentz now so bad because of how it ended, you can flip that around with Jalen Hurts, how it started. He's not passing the ball. He's not, accuracy's down and all that stuff. Again, rightfully so. Those are legitimate criticisms. But the boy keeps winning. Jalen Hurts keeps winning. So now I will say this, because in my estimation, Jalen Hurts is our quarterback for next year. Period. He earned it. He played his way in. He earned it. Can't argue with that. Whether you like him or not, he's that dude. Next year, if his accuracy is still bad, then you got a problem. Now you got a problem, because now that means that he's still going to have a question mark above his head. He's still going to have a question mark above his head. And if you're supposed to be the guy on your team with the C on your chest, but every time you go into training camp, you got the question mark over your head, you're not the guy. Your franchise quarterback is not fighting for his position every year. He's not. Carson was put in a bad situation because of injuries. He was throwing to practice squad guys the whole time. I don't know about throwing to practice squad guys, but I do agree with the injury. If you remember, Carson Wentz, after that Jadeveon Clowney hit, the hit that should have been called because it was a blow to the head. The refs, I don't know what the refs were looking at, but they didn't call it. And I believe he came out the game with a concussion. Wasn't the same. Wasn't the same after that. That leaves me with a very unexpected transition, because one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight was Antonio Brown. The stuff that he's going through. Antonio Brown has not been the same since he took that hit from Vontaze Burfict against Cincinnati. Was that 5 years ago? Go back on YouTube, look at that hit. He was knocked out. He was out. Unconscious. You can go look up, go on YouTube and look up how concussions can change your personality. Look that information up. So it is my belief that whatever he's suffering with mentally comes from that hit. Somehow that changed his personality, because he was always a diva, but he was just another diva wide receiver. He was a good diva wide receiver. But I don't ever remember the time in Pittsburgh when he was this bad, this unstable. I know he had the incident where he was live streaming in the locker room. I remember that, but I believe that was after the concussion, if I'm correct. So AB will be catching touchdowns for Dallas in 2 weeks. That is not out of the realm of possibility. Please do not speak that in existence. That's the last thing we need. So AB, ever since that hit, man, telling you, look it up. Just search AB Antonio Brown knocked out. It'll take you right to it. And when you see that hit, that is like somebody being in a car accident. That's how vicious that hit was. Because it was an illegal hit, first of all. He couldn't catch the ball, and Vontaze just teed off on him. So, you know, I'm just saying there's proven medical facts where concussions can change your personality. So I believe that might be what he's dealing with. And I saw I'm checking the social media and keeping up with the story. He put out a statement today. It was very polished and clearly somebody wrote it. But the interesting thing is, if all the stuff he was talking about him being hurt and him having receipts being, I got the text message that I was communicating with the team and they knew what the deal was. I got receipts. If anything that he is saying is true, the Bucs might be in some trouble. Because if you remember after the press conference, Arians was like, Antonio Brown is no longer a Buck in the story. And he didn't go into it no more. But he's still on the team. He hasn't been released yet. So it's very interesting, man. These stories keep coming, man. It is crazy. It is crazy. So I want to see if he's got communications with the Bucs about what was going on before. Now, having said all that, he still shouldn't act like a damn fool when he was leaving the field, jumping jacks and waving it. That's when you do stuff like that, that's when people think you're mental. And I know mental is the buzzword and you got to be careful, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, even that, he still ain't acting like a B. And when I say B, I don't mean bitch. I mean Ben Simmons. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But a lot of interesting stuff, man. So that's a story that we got to keep watching. So we got lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff to deal with. But I want to see the Eagles take care of their business, get into this first round of the playoffs healthy, and put their good foot forward. And like really put it, I want them to put it on a team because we are the best running team in the league. Without question. The best running team in the league. And we're going to have to put that to the test. If we're going to win in the playoffs, we can't win trying to outpass a team. We're not going to win like that. I've even got enough confidence now because, again, Jalen showed me that when he was hobbled up, put him under center, let him drop back, read the whole field, and you put some plays in together where Quez Watkins, D. Smith, Goddard, people are in motion, dragging across the middle. Goddard is that dude, a big body across the middle. Defensive backs don't want none of that. They don't want that smoke, man. Alleged bad behavior by Tampa doesn't excuse him leaving the field like a jerk off. This isn't the first act of being one. He went in the 6th round for a reason. He also went to Central Michigan for a reason. Stone jerk off. That is not necessarily untrue, but you still got to do what you're supposed to do. And I'm saying that as the Tampa Bay Bucks. Don't let him being a jerk. It's almost like the same stuff with who was it? The whoever that reporter was and said all of that stuff about Aaron Rodgers. About he wasn't going to vote for Aaron Rodgers for MVP because he was a jerk. And being a jerk has nothing to do if you can sling the ball with a high percentage and put the team on your back and get your team in the playoffs. Has nothing to do with that. You're not wrong for Aaron Rodgers acting like a jerk because he does. He acts like a bully and a jerk sometimes, and he uses his stature to his advantage. Wouldn't be the first time, not going to be the last. But for that guy to say that publicly, he put himself in the crosshairs, and he going to get lit for it. Rightfully so. But, he did not, Antonio Brown did not handle that correctly. But, everybody's different. Everybody's different. You never know what's going on in somebody else's house. Let me say it like that. People get, how can I say this? As a former player, a lot of times fans want to come at you like they own you. And that is not the case. That attitude has been emboldened in the last 10 years because of social media. You got keyboard warriors that say some foul stuff, man. Foul stuff. And they don't, there's no repercussions for it. Because back in the day, you say the wrong thing, you had to see somebody. If you were a reporter and you said something crazy, you had to see that dude the next day in the locker room doing interviews. So I'm sure there's a lot of guys that could give you some stories on the conversations and the back and forth they've had with certain reporters and stuff like that. And it's not good. But the point is that back then, and I say back then, like when I played, you had to see somebody. You had to see him face to face. So if you was going to say something, you knew you had to see that person later on. Now, everything's hidden behind, Instabook and face to tweet and all that kind of stuff. So keyboard warriors, man. So I let something. I ain't gonna read that. Come on, man. Rob, you killing me, son. You killing me, Smalls. William, Eagles over Tampa Bay 27-24. Let's go. Man. That is the power of positive thinking right there. Rob, I'm with you. I really don't want to face the Bucks in the first round. I would prefer not to, but we got to play who we play. We had a chance to hang with the Bucks when we played them the first time. So, and again, we didn't run the ball too much. So maybe if we run the ball this game, we might have better results. If that's the case, if that's who we have to face. So I will simply say that now I have faith that Nick Sirianni can put together a game plan that will benefit the Philadelphia Eagles. So he will get out. He knows how to get out of his own way. And I trust him to know what's available. And with Jalen being a little bit better with his percentage and accuracy and things of that nature, let's keep it balanced. Let's pound the ball with Jordan Howard first. Jordan Howard is the best runner when Miles Sanders is not on the field. Because Jordan Howard will hit it downhill in between the tackles. He's not going to juke and jive. He's a downhill guy. Let him run downhill. Stop putting Jordan Howard in gun and have him running sideways 3 yards before he can go north and south. I hate that. Run the boy downhill, man. He's better that way. So we'll see. Oh, I just saw a question. Hold on. What position do you think is our biggest need in the draft for Buckeye? Buckeye, you know what? We need a safety. I think, well, I used to think we for sure had to get an alpha linebacker. We need an alpha Mike linebacker. I'm not sure we need that anymore. Singleton, Avery, them boys are balling right now. Early in the season, our linebackers were making a lot of tackles, but they were making a lot of tackles 3 and 5 yards deep, which means they're getting pushed. They're on their heels. So I don't know. I don't know. I got to do some more. I'm liking the way our defense is playing right now. I'm not so sold on the schemes that we're using, but I like the way the boys are playing. When you put the guys in the right spots, they can do some damage. That's a big if. So I still think we might need an alpha linebacker. I still think we need a safety, and maybe another wide receiver. So who knows? We'll see what they want to do. No good with no Brown, no Fournette, and I heard others. Man, ain't no telling what we gonna do next week, because we could be worried about all of this. And very interested to see how many COVID issues. Thanks, Murph. I see you, bud. My boy Sean Murphy. What's up, Sean? Very interested to see the amount of COVID issues when the playoffs start. That's going to be interesting, because now money's on the table. Money's always on the table in the NFL, but it means a hell of a lot more when you fighting to get into the playoffs. So I'm very interested to see how they handle this. How many COVID cases and all of that kind of stuff. Because every week you're hearing about this stuff. Now it'll be, I'm gonna have the arched eyebrow is when we get into the playoffs after the wild card. Now we go into the second round and all of that kind of stuff. If all of a sudden, bam, nobody getting sick, we're like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. It don't work that way. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with these COVID cases, or how they report the COVID cases as it is, as it pertains to the playoffs. So a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. The NFL has really not been very good in handling this, but that's not their forte. So they can't even get the whole situation with the Washington football team right, with all that stuff going on with Snyder. They can't even act right with that. So it's a lot of stuff, man. But the Eagles are in a very good position. If they sit everybody and we get our butts kicked on Sunday or Saturday, I hate that they flex that game. We still in the playoffs, and that's where you want to be. So we control our own destiny, and we got to handle our business. Stop BSing, man. So, but that's about it, man. You see me stacking the papers. That means it's about time to hit the showers. But I appreciate everybody showing up, everybody watching. Tell your friends about me. We want to get this channel to grow for real. One of the reasons, and I like to explain this, if I get long with it, just tell me to shut up. But one of the reasons people ask, like, pro fan talk, and I always say, yes, I played the game at the highest level. I made it to the top 1% and played pro football with the Eagles. I played NFL Europe, the World League, played in Canada. But right now, I'm a fan just like everybody else. I will sit my butt in a chair Saturday and Sunday, and I will scream at the television just like you guys do. However, comma, when people have that, he sucks, they suck, and have those strong Philly opinions about certain things, I have a different perspective because I was in the locker room, and some of the things that I see and I interact with on social media and things like that, I look at people as like, no, that's not how it go down. It doesn't work that way. So I kind of have made it my mission to I try to educate people. I want to give people tools where they can learn about the game so they can be informed because we are passionate fans and passion is emotion and nobody thinks straight when they're emotional. Nobody. So I want smart fans and I want emotional fans. So, and I also what I like to say is I try to keep the toxic on the bench because people can get wicked and we're not going for that. So, but we having fun and we're gonna learn some things. I was trying to get a special guest to come on today. Didn't pan out. I'm not even gonna say who was supposed to be. I'm gonna save that to another day. I am going to have some former Eagles on here with me who might pop in for a whole show, or they might pop in for 10 to 15 minutes and spot off a little bit. And we're gonna have some fun. I want to do some things. I want to learn some things, learn about you. I want to build this fan base. Subscribe to A2D Radio. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to them on all social media platforms. Oh, and check out me on I got a Facebook fan page. It's called the Eagles Alumni/Fan Perspective. Like you see it like right right there. Eagles Alumni/Fan Perspective. That's my Facebook fan page. So I do interact with everybody. Hit me up, DM me, ask me anything. I will respond. So, but I appreciate it. I got to get out of here, man. I got to hit the showers. So, got to get ready. Because, wait a minute, it's Thursday. We got Thursday night football tonight. Man, I got stuff to do, son. But listen, man, I appreciate all the love from the A2D family. You guys have been a great help. I got some things to work out, but it's all good. Got through my first show, first game. Had a little jitters, but we made it happen. Got some graphic work I can do. You know, I'm a nerd, so got to put in the work. graphic design is my jam, so you know, I'm trying to put together all kind of backgrounds and animations and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be doing that. But we're gonna have some fun, man. So if anybody want to hit me up afterward, go to my fan page, leave me a question, DM me, whatever you want to do, man. I will respond. So Greg, thanks for the love, bro. Thanks for the love, man. Hope to stick around for a minute. And I am gonna got some people in the works, man. Got some people in the works, and we're gonna have some fun. All right. So I guess I gotta end with something. What do you gotta end with? I don't know. Don't you have supposed to I have a saying at the end of the show or something like that? I don't know. Okay, I got one. Something I used to tell the kids at GT. Again, all my GT stallions, respect them, my peoples. But be better than yesterday, not as good as tomorrow. All right. So much love to you. I appreciate you. And I will be back next week, same time, same place, A2D Radio. I want to see everybody back and bring a friend. All right. Holla at y'all next week. Peace.